What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have a crazy amount of stuff we got to get done right now. Right now I have a bunch of candy flavors to test out. If you guys have been following me for a minute now, I'm working on a wholesale candy company and we're trying to build it from scratch right here in my garage. The goal is to have about 28 different types of candies. So today's test is just going to be trying to figure out which ones taste the best and which ones we're just going to throw away. All the candy that we're going to be making today is hard candy. It's not going to be like gummy bears or anything like that. It's going to be nice and simple. It's just to figure out what flavors are going to be the best for the candy in the future. I'm going to be mixing some unique flavors that I've never seen on the shelves before. So hopefully we can make something different, something really good. And then once we figure out what flavors taste the best, then we're gonna add variety and turn them into like gummy bears, sour strips, all that kind of stuff. But that'll be way later down the line. Right now I have over 300 different flavors that I wanna test out. Obviously can't do that in one video. It's gonna take probably like 20 or 30 videos. I'm doing 10 at a time right now, but realistically, I'm probably gonna have to up it to like 25 to 30. I don't know, we'll see how much I can realistically manage. And for every single candy flavor, we're actually gonna be rating it, logging all the information, what we like about it, what we don't like about it, possibly the aftertaste of it, pretty much every little detail we can. That way we can know if we want to keep this flavor for later or if we want to just throw it out. And then with the majority of these flavors, I'm also going to be giving them to my friends to try out and they can rate them themselves. They're going to kind of do a blind taste test. They're not going to know what's in the candy before they get to try it. And then once we figure out the exact flavors we want to use with our candy brand, then we can go ahead and hopefully turn them into a bunch of different types of candy like gummy bears, sour strips, whatever else we can think of. Also, just a side note for you guys, the embroidery machine business has been pretty insane. I've had so many orders within the past couple of weeks. I've actually had to deny orders because I'm just like, I just don't have time for it. We probably made over 200 hats within the last month with this thing. And if you guys saw last video, I'm in the middle of adding as many brands as I can t-shirt to. So I'm actually launching 10 more in the next like day or two. I'll show you guys the brands that we launched recently. We got Trosco, Zimmer, Boxton, Bocce, and Race Beast. I actually still have to post those on the website. We also have so much more going on this week. I'm headed out to vacation on Friday. I'm going to Washington, D.C., New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, and then Boston. Might try and hit Philadelphia as well. Not too sure, but they're all in the same area. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. If you guys want to see any more updates on the hats, just go check out my other videos. And if any of you guys want an update on the cats, I actually kicked them out of the garage finally. They're actually in the backyard now. And so yeah, they have the choice to be out there, or sometimes I'll keep the garage door open and they can come in here and hang out. I would go grab one of them, but I'm going to be making candy and I'm not trying to get cat fur all over the place. So they're just gonna have to stay out there for now. And then other than all that, I've been messing around with the 3D printer over here. Definitely not a professional at it yet. I still have to learn the basics to it, but it's up and running now. So yeah, I look forward to doing that. And that way I can hopefully make custom shapes for all the candy. I have some really random ideas that I wanna try and mold this candy into. And also Halloween's coming up. I know we have some time, but it's not too far away. Anyway, the only reason I mention that is because I'm working on a brand called Jump Scare. It's gonna be a Halloween apparel brand, and it's also gonna sell other stuff like knee pads, for sliding, if you guys know what Not Scary Farm sliding is, masks, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll even have our own trick-or-treat candy too. I went to go grab my first Halloween plaster mold. It's been a really long time since I made a Halloween mask from scratch. If you guys don't know anything about making Halloween masks, first you have to carve out the character from a clay block. Then you cover it in this white stuff called plaster. And this is my very first attempt ever at making a Halloween mask mold. I'm not too good at it, but I have some friends that are really, really good at it, and we're gonna be partnering with them on this. I'm definitely not gonna have anything for sale this Halloween season because I have way too much stuff to get done. But more than likely next year I'll have a whole product catalog added to the site just for Halloween stuff. And then we're also gonna be making some soda pretty soon here. So tons of stuff to look forward to. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe, or not. It's not gonna bother me. Totally up to you. I guess if I wanted more subscribers, I should probably make short format content. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and dive into making this candy. We got tons of work to get done. Let me show you guys the setup right now. All right, so this is my designated candy setup for the moment. I'll go ahead and show you guys everything I have. We're gonna be using my camping stove to cook the candy. We got the pan right there, all the ingredients that we need for it right there. And then right over here, we have 5 different molds. Each mold is gonna have 2 different flavors. And then right here, we have 10 steel mixing bowls that we're gonna be mixing each flavor into. And then I even have a few more molds set up over there in case we have extra. I can make like 13 flavors instead of just 10. And I'm gonna have to set this up every time I make candy. So I'm probably gonna be setting this up at least like 20, 30 times. And then once the candy's made, we have a little candy log folder, and that holds all of the information on how each candy tastes. And then we have a little baggie with a number strapped to it so we can store the candy. Then if you guys can see over here, we have the flavoring oil and then also the food coloring. So it's extremely hot in this garage right now. It's only gonna get hotter when we start boiling the sugar. So if you guys see me sweating, can't really help it. There's no AC in here. I'm not putting an AC in here. So yeah, don't be too surprised. All right, so for each time I make a new batch of candy, I'm basically just gonna take one main flavor. Definitely gonna be starting with my favorite flavors. And then I'm gonna add a drop of another flavor in with it to try and get a really good flavor combo. So since this is the first time we're doing a batch of 10, I'm gonna go ahead and start with raspberry. And then I have 10 other flavors to add into it. I'm gonna go ahead and throw you guys on the tripod and get everything inside the boiling pot and get it going. All right, so since this is my first time actually making this big of a batch, I have to figure out if I can actually mix up 10 flavors without the sugar hardening on me, because that would mess mess everything up. So yeah, very first thing I have to do is set up this campfire stove. It's gonna take me a few minutes. I'm just gonna speed across so you guys don't have to watch this. All right, so since the propane thingy sticks out this way, I gotta move the stove to this side of the table. All right, so here's the current campfire setup. We got the propane right here. We got the almost 4-gallon pot right here. We got the candy thermometer. I'm gonna go ahead and open the sugar. And we also have powdered sugar right here. I'm gonna coat the candy in that to keep it from sticking on the bag. And right now I'm gonna go ahead and measure out the sugar, corn syrup, and water. And then we're gonna get everything cooking. But first, I actually need to start the stove. Let me grab the matches right here. Can I do this with one hand? Probably not. There you go. All right, fingers crossed I don't burn down the garage with this thing. Let me turn the gas on. Whew, and we're good. All right, now that that's lit, I'm gonna go ahead, put you guys on the tripod and get all the ingredients poured into my pot. All right, so I used ChatGPT to tell me the exact measurements of all the sugar and stuff for my exact amount of candy molds that I have off to the side. So we're gonna do 9.5 cups of sugar and then 3.2 cups of corn syrup, and then 3.5 cups of water. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Throw the corn syrup in. We got 3 cups of this stuff. So there's 1, 2, 3. We got the 3 cups of water. 1, 2, 3, and a half. I'm gonna go ahead and stir this up really good, and then let's get this on the heat. Here's a close-up view for you guys. All right, so the sugar's heating up. That's probably gonna take 20 to 30 minutes at least. And we have to wait till it gets to 300 degrees in order to turn it into hard candy. I have to continue to stir it every probably like 5 to 6 minutes or else it'll burn. We'll know we're making some progress when you see the water go clear. That means all the sugar dissolved. And then we got our candy thermometer right here. When it hits 300 degrees, we're gonna turn the heat down. I wanna turn it all the way off, but I don't want it to harden. All right, so while that's heating up, I brought some balloon animal balloons just to play around with. I used to know how to make a bunch of stuff with these things. And I figured since Halloween's coming up anyway, might as well have some fun. So I'm gonna try and see if I can make a teddy bear still, because I used to be able to do that. See if I can even blow these things up. Oh, they're so hard to blow up. Oh, we got it. That was so freaking hard. It's been a long time. All right, that should be enough air to make a teddy bear. Try this up. I don't remember how to do this, but I'm just gonna take a wild guess at it. All right, so this is the head. Oh wait, no, that's wrong, Okay, restart. So this is the nose, that's the neck, that's the first ear, forehead, second ear. I don't know what that is. Gonna go something like that, make the ear. Oh, I hope I don't pop it. There's the second ear. All right, it's kind of deformed. This is supposed to go in the center. Let's see if I can do it without popping. Oh, I don't want to pop it. All right, there we go. There's the little teddy bear face. Now we make the neck, the first arm, the second arm, just like that. And then finally, the feet and the tail. All right, so this one's a little misshapen. You can tell that the head's a bit too big for the body. It is what it is. It's been a couple years since I made this. Let's check on the candy, see what it's up to. If you guys don't know, my Halloween character is usually a clown. That's why I know how to make balloon animals. I'm gonna try and blow up another one without exploding my face. Oh my gosh, these balloons are freaking hard to blow up. All right, that's it. All right, let's go back to the basics. We're gonna just do a dog. That's the nose, that is the head, that's the neck, that's the legs, that's the body, that's the back pair of legs. Simplest one there is. Yo, why don't they make these easier to blow up? All right, so I just checked up on the candy and it's finally boiling. The sugar hasn't fully dissolved yet, so we still got plenty of time. Hopefully I don't drop the camera in there. And the next time I'm doing this, I'll probably be making some hats off to the side just because this does take a long time. Oh, there we go. Starting to get clear. It just cleared up a whole bunch. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the thermometer in there. You can see that blue line is raising pretty quick. About to hit 200. Gonna keep stirring this. The most annoying part about making candy is the cleanup. It takes forever. Not looking forward to it, but it is what it is. Let me move these things out of the way. And just so you guys know what type of flavors we're gonna be adding to the raspberry, we have passion fruit, strawberry, mango, guava, vanilla, butterscotch, blueberry, peach, orange. I don't know about the orange, guys. Honestly, this is definitely out. This is definitely a reach. Watermelon, and then if we have enough, we're gonna try cotton candy and pineapple. We'll see if we can get to that. We are at 220 degrees right now. Just so you guys know how I plan on executing this, I bought these little droppers. For each flavor, I'm literally just gonna put 1 drop into the raspberry flavor. Let me take the caps off of all of these. And I'm gonna be using the chopsticks as stir sticks. We're gonna have a separate stick for each one of them so we don't accidentally mix flavors. All right, so another thing I plan on doing with this candy when we finally get the licenses and the right permits to sell it is actually incorporating it in all the t-shirt and hat orders. If you guys have ever ordered a hat online, you'll know that the hat comes folded and there's always like a gap where the head goes. So I think it'd be really cool to fill that in with candy. It would probably add a lot to the shipping price, so I'll probably do that with cotton candy. But yeah, we'll get it figured out when it's time. And I was looking into a commercial commercial kitchen for the candy stuff. Renting them is really expensive. It's probably like $600 or $700 every time you want to use it. The kitchens that I looked up online usually rent by the hour, which is really pricey. We're here in Southern California, so everything's really pricey. I'm thinking when things get going, I'm just gonna go ahead and rent a warehouse for the candy production stuff. Probably costs around $5,000 to $6,000 realistically per month, plus all the permits, plus all that stuff. I used to have a shop for all the t-shirt supplies and screen printing stuff. That only cost me like $2,000, but of course with a commercial kitchen, you have to get like so many more licenses. You have to pass so many more regulations and all that. So I'm sure it'll slowly add up. Still figuring all that out. It's much better, in my opinion, to figure out what flavors we're gonna be selling before we just jump into renting an actual kitchen and all that stuff. But yeah, later down the line, we'll get there. All right, so we're not too far off from 300 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on the tripod because I don't know how I'm gonna pour this really hot sugar and I don't wanna spill it anywhere, nor do I wanna spill all of the flavorings. That would be a giant mess. So I'm gonna put you guys down, see you in a sec. And we're at 300 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead, turn the heat super low. Gonna throw on these big oven mitts. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, we poured way too much in the first one. It overflowed a bit. Now we know for these ones, go a bit slower. Don't have that much in this last one, but now it's just a race against time. Put all the flavoring in and mix them together because everything's gonna harden super fast. So we gotta work really quick. So right now, I'm throwing 1 drop of raspberry in all of them. I put way too much mango flavoring in that one. I gotta stir each one, throw some coloring in. Trying to do 2 at a time here and the heat all the way off. Now I'm gonna pour them into the molds. All right, we're done. Honestly, guys, that was a very humbling experience. You can see we're not gonna have that much candy for each flavor, but that should be enough to test out the flavors. At the last minute, I tried to put the food coloring in and you could see there's like globs of it because I wasn't able to mix it around good enough. Hopefully the flavoring is mixed in better than the food coloring because that's what we're really paying attention to. And if you look at the table, it's an absolute mess. I should have had a place to put the sticks. Then we knocked over some of the flavorings, which kind of sucks, but luckily we have plenty of those. There's so many more that aren't on the table right now. And then for the last batch, we kind of just ran out of sugar. So there was only like half the amount as the other ones. And then also I kind of kept the heat on low and it burned everything inside there. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But I'm glad this is kind of just like the test run. That way I know that next time I got to do way more prep work to get this super solid. Also, if you guys just look inside the little mixing bowls, there's tons of syrup left. This stuff hardens super fast. So unless I have heat to every single bowl, I'm always gonna miss out on some. All right, so I'm gonna let these 12 candy flavors cool down and then harden up. And then after that, I just gotta do a taste test of each one of them, fill out each paper that I have written for it. And then we will have the results for the very first 12 flavors. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the table and then I'll get back to you guys in like 20 or 30 minutes when these are all hardened up. Peace. All right, so it's been more than 30 minutes. The candy should be hardened by now. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting it into the bag and then tasting them. All right, guys, so here's how all the different flavors came out. I tested a few. Honestly, the flavoring tastes kind of weak. I'm probably gonna have to redo this batch and add 2 or 3 drops per flavor. I'm still gonna test them out one by one to see if there's at least a few that taste good. Here's my little rating sheet if you guys wanna see it. Some of these I'm not actually gonna be using because they're just hard candy. Like appearance and presentation, I'm definitely not gonna rate. I'm just gonna put 0 for each of them. But yeah, then I'm just gonna go through the list and then write in a number 1 through 10. Out of this whole batch, I'm gonna pick my top 3 favorites and then I'm gonna go ahead and just log them down. As for all the stuff in this bucket besides the trash, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some water in there, maybe bring it to a boil, and then all the sugar should easily wipe off. All right, so the first one I'm gonna try out is the raspberry mango. And this is the one where I put like way too much mango. So this should be the one that I can actually taste the best. All right, so honestly, I taste the raspberry, still don't really taste the mango. I'm gonna go through the next few flavors, fill out the sheet, and then I'll get back to you guys when I'm done. All right, guys, so my taste test for all the candies is done. And the number 1 candy that I have is the raspberry vanilla. If you guys want to see my little ranking system, this one scored a 65. The next one after that is actually these ones. These were the extra ones, so I didn't actually have a piece of paper for them. This one was raspberry cotton candy, and then this one was pineapple raspberry. Definitely gonna have to make a sheet for those. Next up is the raspberry blueberry, raspberry passion fruit, and then the guava. All right, so although those were good, I know we could put together a better recipe. We could definitely add more flavoring into each one of them. I'm probably gonna do like 2 or 3 drops of each flavor next time as opposed to just one. I'm using 2 different flavor brands. I have, I think it's called Loran, and then another random one off of Amazon. This was a really good practice run, I wanna say. I'm probably gonna do each one of these over again. That way we can have way better flavor accuracy. And then I also learned a bunch of things to do differently next time. Definitely gonna pick up some gloves. That way it's nice and sanitary for other people to eat these. Realistically, this batch is gonna get thrown out, but when we nail the mixing process, we'll start storing them up, saving them, and then handing them out to my family and friends for taste tests. That's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We've got hundreds more flavors to try out, and then I'm also gonna start adding like 3 different flavors into one candy as opposed to just doing 2. This will be an ongoing series for probably the next like 2 months at least. I'm gonna be doing a soda video. I'm launching more brands pretty soon, and then I have a Halloween video coming out pretty soon. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. My name's Kenyon. Peace out.